Hey everybody, it's Jessica Collins here from FlashFitTrainer.com, and I wanted to bring you some freelance tips today, productivity and time management skills to help you get the most out of your time, especially if you're freelancing on the side right now. Today we're going to talk about the power hour. How many of you have seen network marketing, people that work in network marketing companies, or maybe you've tried them before? They all do something called a power hour, and I have some kind of weird fascination with watching them. I like going on YouTube and finding like Beachbody Power Hour or Herbalife Power Hour or whatever other companies, and I love watching how they do their power hours. There's something about it. And then I was thinking, like, man, they get so much traction off of that power hour. We should be doing that as business owners always, right? There's like a lot to learn from this power hour concept that network marketers use, and I think everybody should be using them. So let's back up a little bit. When I was first starting my freelance business and I was doing it on the side, and I was in corporate and I was just kind of testing the waters to see what I could do, I bulked my entire work into 1 hour periods at night, usually at the beginning. So I was working probably 9 to 5, 8 to 4, something like that, with a half an hour break, somewhere like 8 to 4:30. I'd get up like super early, like, well, maybe not super early for you, but 5:30, do a workout, shower, get the kids ready for school and for daycare, and which was my mom at the time, but I still had to get them ready, get them up, get them over there, get myself ready, up, over to work, meal prep, everything. How do we do that? How do we survive like that? But anyway, so then I wanted to freelance and see if I could start my own business, jump ship at some point, and I was really motivated to do that. And what I started with was an hour at night. So I would come home. It was about a half an hour drive home. It's probably like 5:30 now. Get home, dinner, maybe a little time with the kids, clean up, go to bed, right? And that's like all the time I had. But after the kids went to bed, I tried to be really consistent with an 8 o'clock bedtime so that the kids were in bed by 8, and from 8 to 9 I could work. Now, at first that was really hard because once the kids go to bed, like, isn't that the time when you just want to finally relax or do something for yourself? But this was the thing that I wanted to do for myself. I knew that if I just dedicated an hour or a couple hours here and there to this purpose, that I could maybe actually do it this time, maybe actually start my own business and actually be successful. So I used that time from 8 to 9 to start my business, and that is all the time that I could really dedicate to it. I wasn't going to get up at 4, I wasn't going to get up earlier, do work and a workout and get the kids ready and then work again. Like, that wasn't going to work. I didn't want to do it in that tiny window that I had with the kids. And so 8 to 9 was like the perfect time to do it, and the only time I really had to do it. And then also I should say, like, I used weekends sometimes too, like a couple hours, maybe 2-3 hours on weekends when I had the time as well. So it wasn't just an hour every night, it was a little bit on the weekends as well. I just wanted to clear that up. But that hour had to be dedicated. I had to sit down and I had to get to it, and I couldn't be distracted. So I had to be really, really consistent and use that time super wisely. So I had that 1 hour to work. So what that looked like for me, now let's break this down, and then we'll get into what I would recommend for a power hour for somebody who's just starting freelance writing, or maybe just sort of getting into it, or thinking about making the leap from corporate to freelance, which is what I teach. I have a free 7-day email series, no strings attached. Like, you just get super actionable tips on how to start at the very beginning and how to build an actual business in this quick 7-day series that I have for you. So grab that freebie. It'll be in the description box. All right, let's go. So, the power hour. So, let me tell you what I did in that hour. At the very beginning, it was that 1 hour was mostly prospecting because you don't have any clients yet, right? So what else would you be doing? Well, you can be making samples, yes, that type of thing too. So in the beginning, that power hour was prospecting. So I was sending cold emails, letters of introduction. I was applying for job board projects, that type of thing. So that whole hour was sending out prospecting. Then at some point you need to use those hours to build your samples, to build your portfolio. So I might use that hour to either pitch a publication that I could write for to use for a sample, or create like a spec sample, or write for my own blog, or write for somebody I know's blog, or something like that. So once in a while those hours were used for content. And sometimes it was used for marketing type stuff. All right, so then later on, that time was more dedicated to the actual writing. So once I got a client or two from that prospecting, then I spent most of that time writing. And then again, like once I needed it, I'd take an hour or two on the weekends. So for example, I worked for a client that needed, I think it was like 2 to 3 posts a week. So I would use those hours very focused, and I might have to use some on the weekends as well. Then I was writing some exercise descriptions for an app company, and I would do a certain number every night in those hours, and then some on the weekends if I needed to push more out faster. So that's what it looked like, and still have to be prospecting during that time as well. So once, like maybe 1 hour a week would be dedicated to prospecting, and the rest would be the actual work. So you have to sort of balance those between your work and your prospecting. But at first it's going to be mostly prospecting, and later on it's going to be mostly the working, but it transitions in there. Now, once you're established, you can still use the power hour. I love the idea of a power hour still. And in this context, I wouldn't dedicate it to client content because I am full-time now. I was able to make that leap, and the content is like the bulk of my full-time position. So those power hours are more for the marketing and prospecting things that I need to do now still. So let's talk about the power hour once you're established. So the power hour, I drew a little thingy. This is super simplistic. 50% of your time for content, 50% for marketing. So if you were to think about your power hour, maybe you have an hour and a half, so 30 minutes for content, 30 minutes for marketing. Now think of what you could do in a month of doing that every day for an hour. That's what makes these network marketing professionals the ones that make it so successful. It's this consistency, and it builds up over time. So these hours that you dedicate to this over time are going to make something huge. Imagine if you were a writer and you spent an hour every single day writing your book, and it wouldn't take long for all those hours to add up into an actual book. So when you're a freelance writer, this power hour can be also with a freelance writer. If you think about what you could do in an hour if you did it every day and you gave that focused attention fully to these tasks. Because let's be honest, how much focused time do you really spend during the day on the tasks that you're doing? I try hard, and sometimes I can get there. It takes putting on noise canceling headphones with concentration music on, having no distractions, being fed, being watered, everything, right? You really to get into that full focused headspace, you have to be ready and you have to be focused. So that's why I think these are so powerful, because how often do you really do that, where you sit down and you dedicate that time fully to your dream, really? So let's talk about what you can do during a power hour for a freelance writer. So 50% content, 50% marketing. Content. Let's talk about content. What content are you creating? You're not creating content for your clients. You're creating content for your own business and your own platforms. So, blog post, video, social media post, a new sample, a new article for a publication, something like that. Creating content every day. Maybe you're going to write an ebook. Maybe you're going to write a program, something. 50%, 30 minutes of content. Pump it out. Get it out there. Imagine what you can come up with in 30 days if you did that every day. Then, 50% marketing, 30 minutes of marketing. What would that look like? So, if you finish a piece of content, let's market it or market your business. So, this can include engagement, like talking to your ideal clients on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever they are, making contact with your ideal client on those platforms, some type of engagement. It could be pitching, actively pitching. You probably should be spending more than 30 minutes a day, maybe dedicating even a whole day of your week to pitching. Pitching is important, but at least a half an hour, right? Pitching, sending a letter of introduction, looking at the job boards and applying for them. That is part of marketing. The other part would be actively telling people about your business, whether that be through email, contacting your contacts on LinkedIn, some type of marketing of your business. Maybe, hey, I just had my business cards made. I could have used that half an hour to get my business cards made, or to think of 10 places that I could leave my business card. Something like that. Some type of marketing activity for 30 minutes. Imagine what kind of momentum you could build by doing that every single day. Imagine how many people you could reach. So let me give you a little breakdown, like a sample breakdown of what you could use that time for. So this is what I have. 15 minutes, you write a quick blog post, something off the top of your head, not a very in-depth, super research post, more like a social media post or something off the top of your head that you've been thinking about, something that's important that your readers actually want, of course, something that's valuable. Or maybe it is a well-researched post and you put 15 minutes into it each day until it's done. Then you do a 15-minute live stream like I'm doing, a video or live stream, or some Instagram stories or a TikTok, something. Put something in video. People love video. Then 15 minutes of engagement where you're commenting, sharing, connecting with people, connecting with other freelance writers, connecting with people in Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, wherever. Just 15 minutes of connection. Maybe you reply to an email of someone that you're following. Something like that, where you're making that connection and you're building your network and you're building your relationships. Don't be asking for work or, being blatantly salesy, but more like building relationships with these people. Then 15 minutes on pitching. 15 minutes usually isn't quite enough time to make a really good pitch, but you could start one. Or if you have a template, you could fill it in and send it out. Or you could use that 15 minutes to look at job boards and quick throw in a resume. That's just a quick example of how you could dedicate a power hour to your business, to growing your business, and just making a bigger impact in the world, right? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear from people that were in network marketing that use their power hour. Do you still use it? How do you use it? What are your best tips? Like I said, I love watching people do their power hours. Sometimes I will put somebody else's power hour on and I will do my own at the same time. So I don't know, there's something about it that really motivates me, and watching somebody else doing it, giving me ideas maybe, or just the motivation, just that dedicated time where you got tunnel vision and you're doing what you need to do and you're getting it out and it's done for the day, for the week. So I hope that this video helps you, gives you some ideas on how to use a power hour in your freelance life. I think it would be a really great idea if I had a tracker to go along with this for you. So when that's ready, I will put it in the description box below. Something that you can fill in with your exact tasks that you want to do and check them off every single day. Make sure you do them. And then I would love to see at the end of the month, let me know in the description box below what you're able to accomplish in a month of this, because man, what we could do if we dedicated an hour a day to our passions. Oh, it gets me so excited. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I'd love to keep the discussion going in the comments. All right, you guys, I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.